Spooky season greetings and salutations, and welcome to Hacker Slash. If you're joining us again, welcome back. Nothing here is good for you, so grab yourself a tray. My name is Chris, I'm your friendly neighborhood slasher enthusiast, and this week I'm joined by the classic horror connoisseur, Sean.
I am the color red in a world full of black and white.
Now, while we are a horror movie review podcast that is typically dedicated to telling you whether a movie is a hack,
A total joke, a waste of time,
or a slash,
totally killer, pun intended.
today we're here to discuss a much looser, much more fun theme. Sean, obviously, the date is now October 16th. We're halfway through the month of October. I feel like 75% of the way through our spooky season, and we have been celebrating and commemorating in a few different ways.
We have. I can't believe it's actually halfway through October already. It feels like the month is going too fast.
Yeah, no, it needs to slow the fuck down. We have been waiting for this all year, and I feel like just yesterday you were talking about getting your decorations up, and it's like, no, there hasn't been enough time to enjoy it.
Yeah, I'm being encroached upon everywhere I go. I'm starting to see more Christmas shit. I'm like, what the fuck's happening around here?
I went to a store the other day, specifically to look for some NECA horror figures, and I did not find what I was looking for. But at the very beginning, in front of the store, what did I see? Fucking Christmas decorations. People, no. This is the last drop of joy that I have before seasonal depression starts on November 1st. Get that shit out of here.
Yeah. Let October breathe a little bit. You know what I mean? Like, Jesus Christ. And technically, we still have November for all the pumpkins and stuff. Like, we don't need to be seeing any Christmas trees anytime soon.
100%.
You know what I'm saying?
These Christmas people are like stage 5 clingers. They need to back it off a bit. Because, listen, we have October 31st, then November 1st through December 25th. It's perfect Nightmare Before Christmas season. But we also now have the Great Slasher Thanksgiving. Too much
That's
happening.
true.
We also have Blood Rage. There's enough that we can do in October to really squeeze it out, especially with like witchy vibes.
There is. There's a lot to do. You're talking about decorations. I finally have gotten pretty much all the little finishing touches on the house. So I've got like all of the props. I got to rearrange a couple things once I pull the cars out and I have more space to kind of stage prop everything so that we can set up. But listen, I got all the spotlights in all the right places, highlighting certain areas, things like that, which is a little bit more than I did last year, but it's perfect. And listen, the thing is that last year we got something like 200 plus trick-or-treaters.
200?
So I'm assuming this year is going to be more because we have more people in the neighborhood. So I don't even know if I'm even fully prepared with the amount of candy that I'm going to need. I can't keep up with it, but I've got the whole thing ready to go. I'm going to have the spooky music playing in the driveway. I got the table set up. I'm going to have the candy ready to go. For a select few kids, they will get Halloween themed Pokemon card packs as well. So I got that ready to go.
Mm-hmm.
I also bought like a 50 pack on Amazon of these little laboratory vial shot glasses with little purple, green, and orange lids. And I'm going to fill that up with a bright green, little mixer shot drinks,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm going to be handing those out to the parents as they come by.
Amazing.
So I'm ready.
Wow.
I'm ready for the Halloween. We're ready to go.
Holy shit. Sean, I need to be your neighbor.
I'm telling you, this neighborhood goes
so
off.
I can buy a house in your neighborhood.
There was somebody posting in our neighborhood chat. They already posted they're advertising their haunted house from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. We pop off around here, man. It gets crazy.
I don't know how you found the most seasonal festive block in the state of Florida. That is incredible.
Yeah, it feels good around here on Halloween.
Hell yeah. Okay, so I was just thinking about this. I know I sent you a video sometime in the last week or so, and it was the person who set up a movie night outdoors with a projector for their kids, but they had inflatable coffins that were so fucking cute. See,
so good.
If it were me and I was setting up for trick-or-treaters, I'd also just fucking be out there watching horror movies in a fucking inflatable coffin while these kids can fend for themselves with those candy bowls.
That's cool. I mean, you could even like set it up to where you have the projector going up on your garage, and you can have the movie playing out there while the people are coming up. You got the vibes, 100%. You know?
Oh man, that just makes so much fucking sense, and I long for that. I really want to embrace that kind of Halloween spirit. I'm not sure what I'm up to this year yet, but I do know that on November 1st, I'll be going to Spooky Empire. I'll be going with Allie. We're going to go on the 1st and the 2nd. And I'm so fucking pumped for this. The lineup this year is absolutely stacked. And Nicholas Hoult, Roger Jackson, the entire cast of the Losers Club from It. Also, Terrifier. So we're going to have David Howard Thornton. And we're also going to have Lauren Rivera. It's going to be incredible.
Dude, it's going to be such a good time. Super jealous. I should be going, but I can't. I can't take any more time off this year. I'm pretty sure there's a lot going on around here. A lot of time off has been taken already.
That's one more day.
But I know. It would be great. Yeah, that's true. You never know. But it is a stacked cast, even more so than last year. So like, wow.
Yeah.
You know,
this feels way better. Last year was going to be a better year for us in terms of we were really excited to just go, period. The lineup did look pretty strong, but Hurricane Milton had other plans, and then things just kind of shifted around. But this year, I'm so excited to go and just attend and just meet people. It's going to be so fucking fun.
Oh, I bet. For sure. Definitely going to be a good time. But, we also got to talk about what we just did, and that was go to Halloween Horror Nights, because every year we've been going, and this felt like the big year to go.
Really
you know what
did.
I mean?
It
was calling our name.
Mm-hmm. It sure was. And the thing that I really enjoyed about this, I get excited for just the atmosphere, right? I get excited for the premise of Halloween Horror Nights. This is the one thing a year I do for myself. This year in particular, alongside the year that I went with Paris and they had a Halloween house, I was just so excited about the IPs that were featured and on display this year. And honestly, no better company than to go with you, Ari, and Allie. It was honestly just such a 10 out of 10 experience.
Yeah. It was good. I gotta admit, though, I mean, I'm probably admittedly going to go every year, but I gotta admit, coming off of last year, I was like, it was a good time, but I was like, you know what? It doesn't feel like they're putting the same energy and to some of the experience in the houses that they had in years prior. And so I was like, well, unless they do something big, is there really a big push to go this year? And then they started announcing the houses, and they announced Terrifier, which is automatically we gotta go. But then they have the Legacy of Voorhees, and that's a double whammy. They threw Fallout in there, Five Nights at Freddy's,
there was a
Puss in Boots house, and then they had to throw a fucking WWE house just to say, Sean, here's the carrot. You might as well come this year. We got all of your fucking passions and hobbies right here.
Yeah, all they needed was a Magic the Gathering house.
Yeah, and I'm sure it'll happen one of these days, but ridiculous. The themes this year were great, but not just the themes. We also have to talk about it felt like the old Halloween Horror Nights. They had the spooky music playing all over the park, which was something they hadn't done in a few years. Mm-hmm. They brought the Hauntophonic fucking water show back, which wasn't happening for a couple of years as well, from what I can remember. They just had that Nightmare Fuel, but now we got 2 shows going. It just felt a lot more atmospheric this year.
I was so excited about that. And it is a little special something, a little bit of seasoning. These ancillary things are not things that I ever think back to my youth and consider, hey, where is that show? Where is that music playing all throughout the park? It's not something that I ever consciously considered. But you're right. And I don't know if that was because of how society has shifted after going through some kind of pandemic, right? But the slow return to form that we've seen has just been phenomenal. Obviously, it's an imperfect experience in terms of the level of crowd and just thinking about the pacing through some of these houses, but the quality of what we had this year. This is also the most merch I've bought at a Halloween Horror Nights. Even the Halloween year, I didn't buy anything in the park. I ordered it from their website right before the season closed. Man, we went to City Walk and we immediately got some Terrifier bags.
Yeah. We got the Terrifier bags. I mean, you got the Terrifier bag. You and Allie got the Terrifier bag. And then I'm sitting there. Once we left the store, I'm like, well, maybe I should get that Terrifier bag. I had to go back and get it. It's great. I've been using it every day. It's got the perfect amount of pockets. It's big enough. It's not too big. It's got a lot of great design all over it. The whole thing is just like really well done.
High quality. It is the perfect bag for me to take to work. The only time I have been kind of caught out with it was I took it as my work bag for the first day, and then something happened at work and I had to take my work computer home to finish something. And I'm like, okay, this one time, whatever.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I've been entirely satisfied because it is the perfect size for my iPad mini, the perfect size for my key. It's the perfect size for my AirPods to go on the strap. It is just...
yeah.
honestly, the most functional little crossbody bag that I could have imagined coming from a theme park of all places. And then I think is the big surprise, Sean. There were so many things this year that were just good, even outside of being in theme parks.
I mean, yes, there were a lot of things that were just good. The merch was good. The atmosphere was good. Even the amount of other shit like the food and the drinks were good.
Oh my gosh.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. So we keep going to the Coconut Club, which gets rebranded as like the Dead Coconut Club on City Walk.
Love it.
Yeah. Last year it was 80s vampires. This year it was sorority witches. And what a cute fucking concept. Now, when we were there, because we got there like close to opening, we didn't really see many like cast members dressed up as witches, at least from what I recall, but I was also pretty tipsy. But the level of detail in the prop work and it being a split bar, absolutely incredible.
Yeah, it was really cool. If you haven't gone or you don't know about it, the Red Coconut Club that's at City Walk during this time of year does turn into the Dead Coconut Club, which is themed out every year. And I had no idea about it until we went last year. I could tell you I completely missed that for years, right? And so very, very cool. The theme this year with the sorority of witches was really cool. I do think, yeah, maybe we were a little bit earlier than last year, or maybe they weren't doing the exact same thing, because last year with the vampire theme or whatever, they had people like dancing on the dance floor, which was great. So I was expecting to see something like that. We didn't get that, but the theme and the decorations and the thought and everything that went into transforming that place was so great. There was great places to like take pictures. The scenery was awesome. The drinks were really fucking good.
They were so good. And here's the thing, Sean, I am such a lightweight, right? I didn't really drink a whole lot that night, but I drank enough to feel very impacted by these drinks. And it's also just like great flavoring. So I really wish I knew how to put it and articulate it well, because it's just such a perfect blend of the right amount of alcohol for what you're paying for, in addition to just great fucking concepts of what these drinks should be.
Yeah. They weren't like too skimpy. You know what I mean? It wasn't like they were giving you all juice and no liquor. You can taste it. Like they were pouring some nice stiff drinks, but they had the perfect balance. Like I think the one that I had was some kind of like coconut one. It had this perfect little balance. It was nice. It was, you can taste the vodka or whatever the fuck was in there, but it also, you had the creaminess of the coconut milk, and then you had whatever juice, the pineapple juice or whatever. It was good.
Yeah.
It was good. Dangerous.
And the great option is if you are sober, they had incredible mocktails as well.
Yeah, they had mocktails there, and they had mocktails all over the park, too. Like, you could participate in drinking some of these beverages without having to consume alcohol, which is always a great choice. Even, like, the Fallout area had a drink that came in the little pouch, the little like Radaway or
Mhm.
whatever pouch that was a mocktail. It was like some kind of like lemonade or juice or whatever that you can drink out of. I was going to get one. I was on the fence just because I wanted the bag, because you can technically refill the bag.
Fuck. Okay, if I had known that it was like a refillable bag and not just like a little chintzy thing, I probably would have just bought it to buy it.
Yeah, it was refillable. I was on the fence with it.
Man.
Definitely.
Yeah, no, but the quality of the drinks, and I'm sorry, that Coconut Club one more time. Last year, we got the souvenir cups at the beginning of the night, and there are these short little cups with orange vinyl lettering. And listen, I wasn't mad at that. I was grateful. I was like, yeah, it seems more cost effective to just get the fucking cup and keep refilling it. I was just, it was a whole thing. But this year we did it, and it was a much better cup. It was significantly larger, significantly higher quality, and it was themed and decorated in the keeping of like their stained glass approach that they had to feature all the houses. It was just so fucking good.
I was actually shocked when you got the actual souvenir cup, because it was like a huge step up. Like before, it was one of those like semi cheap cups that you kind of like can keep, right? But you don't want to ever, expose it to too much of hot water, like throw it in the dishwasher once, it might melt kind of thing. It felt like that. Maybe like a cup you might get at a baseball game or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think the reality is enough people have bought Express Pass now that they can afford the good cups.
I bet. Yeah, because these cups were solid. These are cups you would buy like at an actual souvenir shop. You know what I mean?
And
they definitely solid.
And what was even better is that the Terrifier bag does fit the cup.
It fits the cup. Maybe it's something they thought about. I don't know. They're like, hey, you got this cup. Now you got to put it away while you're in the park.
Yeah, I feel like I need to do a what's in my bag, but it's my Terrifier bag, and I'm just stuffing in how many fucking Halloween Horror Nights cups I can fit in it.
Ridiculous.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
But obviously, the other aspect of this, when we think about food and snacks, Sean, when people have approached me at work and said, how was Halloween Horror Nights? Because everybody has been so excited for me, knowing just the sheer joy that I feel in this spooky place. My first response is, Terrifier and Jason were incredible. My second response, I had the third best fried pickle I've ever had in my life.
And you know what? It's not an exaggeration. It's up there. It's like honestly one of the best fried pickles I've ever had.
It was so good that I got seconds at the beginning of the night and the end of the night. Like that, what the fuck? I've never, I don't really get into theme park food very much. For example, whenever they had when I went with Paris, we didn't really eat much of that. I had like some like the twisted chips on a fucking stick, but I'm not like a huge snacky park person. That was objectively fucking great. It was from the Fallout booth, but it was fried pickle spears, breaded perfectly, cooked perfectly to provide a level of crunch and crisp, but without compromising the juiciness of the pickle or overheating the pickle. It was fucking great. And an excellent buffalo chicken dip.
Yeah. Absolutely fantastic. I mean, for sure, 10 out of 10, probably the best thing you can get, depending. I mean, obviously, if you don't like fried pickles, not your bag, but you're so right. Like, you can't express enough. Words cannot express enough how perfectly crisp and crunchy that pickle was. It's actually one of the crunchiest fried pickles I've ever had without it being like, it wasn't soggy in any way. It wasn't like the pickle, you know what I mean? Like, it was a very perfect balance. I don't even know how the fuck they did it, to be honest with you. It doesn't even seem real, to be honest with you.
Yeah, and the fact that they nailed this in a little cart in a theme park, what the fuck?
Yeah, absolutely wild. Man, we could talk all night about those fried pickles, but there was legitimately another food item that I kept seeing people talk about that I knew when I was going in, I had to try it. And even Ari was like, you're not going to like it. Don't buy that, whatever. I'm like, listen, I've watched so many reviews on the food and the drinks this year, and everybody had said that they ended up liking this Sloppy Joe that was at, I think, the WWE Wyatt 6 food booth. I don't even remember exactly what it was called, but it was the Sloppy Joe that was basically Sloppy Joe, like a Sloppy Joe with You had like bacon on there, like candied bacon on there. You had dill pickle chips in there, and it had some cheese in there, and then it was all, sandwiched in between this. Now get this is the weird part, a like chocolate bun.
Wow.
This chocolate bun.
Is it a
And none
chocolate
of that
almond
like
bun?
chocolate almond bun. Yeah, that's what it was. So none of that like chocolate mixed with sloppy joe, mixed with cheese, mixed with dill pickle chips, mixed with bacon. Like there's a lot going on here, right? Like how could that even be good? But let me tell you, it actually fucking worked. And you mentioned it earlier, Chris. You were like, maybe it's the bitterness. The chocolate might be just bitter enough to kind of not be too sweet. Mm-hmm. And that's what it was. It was like this dark chocolate bitterness that worked really well. The candied bacon was actually the sweetest element of the dish, but it was crunchy. They got the bacon. It wasn't like those like soft, like floppy fucking rubbery pieces of nasty
like
bacon that
bacon sometimes from Dunkin' Donuts that has like a maple glaze on it, and it's good, but if it's on a floppy day, it's a flop.
Exactly. But this was you can bite. It had texture to it, and the pickle chips, another added layer of texture with the cheese and the sloppy joe. It was good. It was good.
Oh my god!
And for your money, one of the bigger items you can buy that would actually really fill you up.
Yeah, I'm actually bummed that I didn't try it. I fucking opted for the seconds on the pickles because I'm like, listen, there's no way I'm ever gonna get a fried pickle this good again in the fucking theme park. I gotta do it. I gotta enjoy it. The other thing is, Sean, I have food rules. We've talked about my food rules, yes?
Yeah, we've gone over the food rules for sure.
So it's tough for me to see some of these menu items and be like, yeah, I want to try that. The burger was the weirdest thing, but also because it was a burger, I was like, okay, maybe I'd be into that. Some other years, like there's random shit in here where I'm like, that sounds fucking disgusting. You couldn't pay me to try it. But maybe I just need to be brave.
I mean, I was a little bit upset that I didn't end up grabbing the cupcake from the Five Nights at Freddy's.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people said that was really good. There's definitely a couple. It's hard to get all the things, you know what I mean? Because like you can't honestly be that hungry, You can't eat all this food.
What would have to have happened is we would have had to had a breakfast, no lunch, and then go to the park and just snack all day.
Yeah. But you also have only so much time. So it's like I feel like you really got to pick and choose what you're going to do and not from a house perspective, because if you do the express pass, you'll be able to do all of that, but like to be able to go and eat a bunch of stuff, you got to space it out a little bit, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so it's a little bit tough.
When we left, I believe we left around 1 a.m.?
Somewhere right around there, yeah.
A little after 12, maybe closer to 1 a.m. And the reality is that we had an hour to spare. I don't know that with an hour, we would have been able to make all the food lines. Let's say we were hungry and like we were in a space to be able to trial everything. I don't know that we would have had enough time to try literally everything without having also been there significantly earlier. Yeah,
it's tough. Or if you're able to maybe just go multiple days, that would be the ticket. Mm-hmm. But I'll tell you, there was another thing that I made time for, and that was something that caught my attention going through all of the reviews that people had, and that was the PB&J beer that they had.
You were on a quest.
I was on a quest for this PB&J beer, and we finally got to it, and holy shit. Let me just tell you that if you ever wondered what drinking a peanut butter and jelly was like, this beer somehow fucking did it. It literally tasted like the moment you crack open this beer, it smells like you're eating a peanut butter and jelly. It tastes just like a peanut butter and jelly. I was shocked.
Damn.
I was absolutely shocked. You can't drink more than one of those because it's too sweet, but it was an experience that I absolutely had to have. And I'm telling you, if you find yourself at Halloween Horror Nights Orlando, you find this PB&J and you fucking drink it.
Yeah, my problem, Sean, is that I don't like PB&J. So I think I'll just really eject out of that whole situation. It was a big nope for me, dog. Maybe if it was just peanut butter. Actually, no, even the idea of drinking something that tastes like a food, I don't know. I can't. I don't think I can do it. don't think I can do it. Like people have like chocolate alcohol drinks or peanut butter drinks, and I'm just like, I'm cool.
Good chocolate stout.
Kind of a mind fuck, and I like my things divided. I am the person who eats things in order, separated on a plate. I don't like the mixture of things. I feel like I would imagine that thing being liquefied and put in my mouth, and that makes me want to gag. Yeah. But speaking of gagging, actually, you were also on a quest for a food item for Ari. What a disappointing time that was. Please share.
Yeah, let me tell you. First off, I'm not one that like goes for this food item, but it is apparently a staple at Halloween Horror Nights. Every year, no matter what, when you go, I forget, like I think it's the DreamWorks Cafe or whatever. Every year they do these things called pizza fries. And even when you get the reviews, there's people that are like, I come for the pizza fries every year and I eat them and they're great. It's like every year it's tradition. I got to get pizza fries. And maybe they were good when these people got them. But let me tell you, we walked and we walked and we walked. And Ari wanted these pizza fries so bad. And we finally made our round around the park, around the lake. We finally got over there. So excited. Got these pizza fries. And they were fucking cold, like ice cold, nasty, like cold fries, cold sauce, cheese that wasn't melted. No good. Okay. So we're like, listen, these are cold. Can we get another one? Like, yeah, these ones just came out of the oven. Cold. They're cold. It's the same exact shit. So we're sitting there like, okay, you know what? Never mind. Like, we would rather just not. We would rather just not have these. We just want to return them. We had to literally wait there while these people had to call like 4 different people to find somebody that knew how to process a refund on the register. So we're sitting there for like an extra 10 to 15 minutes just trying to get the fucking pizza fries refunded. During this time, once this manager or whatever shows up to do the refund, there's conversations being had. And what it sounded like, to be fair, is that their machine was just not working. And so this fucking dude was just passing out fucking uncooked pizza fries thinking that the oven was working, but wasn't fucking smart enough to realize that there was no heat coming out of it.
But Sean, how the fuck is a pizza fry supposed to look if it's cooked?
Well, I don't know, man. It's supposed to look at least melted and hot and steaming.
But I also don't know what these things. I suppose I could Google an image. At this point, Allie and I were sitting far, far away while you were enduring this pilgrimage. But my mind just thinks, if this is something that has been prepared and frozen until this moment, like prepared earlier in the day and then whatever, or if they're like really mixing things up, there's a very big difference between uncooked and cooked optically. You know what I mean? Like it feels like that would be, or if like you're maybe no heat coming out of the oven, or when you are grabbing this little fucking basket, like that fried pickle bucket, I'm going right back to it. That thing was hot as fuck. And they even warned you, hey, this is really hot. And we're like, yeah, fuck it. That's great. That's perfect. I love burning my hands. Worth it for those pickles. This guy can, that's weird.
It's very strange. I'm not sure what happened. I'm not even sure actually now, knowing that it wasn't heating properly. Not even sure if I trust how these fries are put together if they weren't even, I mean, I don't really love the idea of frozen to oven, like, snacks at a theme park, but I also don't love the fact that these might have just been sitting there with fries, sauce, and cheese all over them for God knows how long before they decided to pop them in an oven to reheat for me.
Yeah, I mean, so that's I have no idea how these things are prepared. So if it was like made earlier in the day and then frozen until night, then that's not as bad to me.
Yeah.
But also, fuck, I don't know, dude. Let's consider better things, actually. I don't think there was anything else that we ate.
No, we didn't really eat anything else.
Actually,
some drinks.
No, I'll take that back, because Allie tried some delicious Brazilian cheese bread. That was fucking great. And then I believe Ari then later got the lentil coffin.
I think so, but I don't remember trying it myself.
Yeah,
it was big though. It was huge.
Mm-hmm. It looked good.
Yeah.
And that was great.
Yeah. Almost like an empanada of sorts is what it kind of reminded me of.
100%. And I do regret not trying it because it looked delicious. And honestly, you make anything coffin shaped and I'm fucking into it.
That's true. And it's a lentil coffin, so it was a vegan option for those that don't eat the meat.
Oh, wow. We love the inclusion here at this park. But obviously, what is Halloween Horror Nights if we don't discuss the houses? Sean, there were some that we were really excited about. There are others we had no idea about. But I would love to just take a moment between the two of us and just discuss, like, even before we get to the big IPs, when you think about some of the more original houses, what are some of the standouts for you?
You know, the original houses, I gotta say, I'm just trying to think back. Let me tell you, I think one of the most underwhelming ones for me was the Dolls Let's Play Dead house.
Oh, yeah.
I felt like there was such a missed opportunity there when I heard that there was going to be a Dolls, like a doll themed haunted house. I'm thinking like I am someone that thinks dolls are fucking legitimately creepy. So the fact that they didn't get that vibe for me was a miss. They could have done so much with a bunch of creepy ass dolls. You could have literally just turned all the lights off and thrown me in It's a Small World at Disney World, and I would still fucking be scared, more scared than I was in this doll's house.
Yeah, no, that was not a fun one at all. And it's a mix for me of the props, of the design of the house, and then also the engagement with the actors. The dolls were not scary. And the masks themselves were also not effective with that. And I think there are just some properties, and we'll talk about this in a little bit when we get into the main IPs, but there are some properties that just don't bode well for just like good haunted house shit. And this concept of it, I mean, I was surprised. Like there was a house either last year or the year before where it was like gigantic bugs. It was like a 50s product that actually had the opposite effect and like created mutant bugs and like turned people into bugs. Yeah. That was fucking intense and wild. And it was original, but also really fucking fun. This should have been creepier than that. And it wasn't. It just fell flat.
Yeah. Unfortunately, it did fall flat for sure. And I'm trying to also think back. I think actually the Monsters of the North was actually kind of fun. Yeah. Like the imagery was kind of fun, like going through like some old Viking type towns and watching like these monsters rip through the fucking town was actually kind of like the atmosphere was a little bit spooky for sure.
It really was. I enjoyed that one. And I remember that one being next to Fallout. So we were walking for a while, and on the way there and on the way back, we saw Art the Clown getting zoomed around a little golf cart honking at us. Bless his heart. I am so sad that we didn't see him the entire night, but that is what I now associate Gawkin with. Like the little bit of joy I had with seeing Art the Clown.
It was tough too. I really do wish we got to see Art the Clown a little bit more. And I don't know if it was just the fact that he wasn't out that much, or it was just the fact that we just had really poor timing and just weren't in the right places at the right time. Or we were just, another thing that I was thinking of is like, we were just such on a mission. We had such a path that we were hitting the next thing, the next thing, the next thing, that we may have just not lingered in certain areas enough to catch him like fucking around, which is unfortunate. But I was really hoping to see him do some weird shenanigans, you know?
I was also hoping that. I really was. Just thinking about some of these other houses. There was also Hatchet and Chains, Demon Bounty Hunters. Sean, I have mixed feelings about this.
Yeah, it was kind of like I don't even know, like kind of like a rednecky vibe going into that house.
So it was a cross between Evil Dead and K-pop demon hunters. It's whatever this thing is on Netflix that everybody's singing that song Golden from, because I did see a clip of that movie, and the demons like have like bright markings on them, etc. And there's a moment in this house that looks exactly like that. And I couldn't unsee it. I've only been exposed to this property, clips on social media, and then now these two things are linked in my mind. but it was a little goofy in terms of the acting there, but the actual house itself was pretty good quality, like great chains, great pew pews. We also had what I really loved, there was like a coffin that you look inside and it seems completely solid and intact. And then it was like a softer material on the backing and someone just broke right through it. And now it was just so seamlessly done. Usually when you have things like that, it's very apparent what it's going to be. And so it's difficult to feel effective. But that one in particular was one of the better moments in that house.
Yeah, it did actually have some good moments when you were going through the house. It was also one of those houses where it was kind of confusing going into it, because like some of the houses you go into, you're like just kind of walking into the warehouse entrance, and then there's like the entrance within the warehouse that's the entrance to the actual house. Like, yeah, but this one was all staged from the outside. So as you're walking in, it's like the outside of this house or this cabin or whatever the fuck it was, with this little scene that was playing out front. And so, you know, I got a little bit confused because I was like, oh, this is a cool entrance. Let me just snap a picture. And of course, like within 2 seconds, there's some like worker that was like, you need to put your phone away, sir. And I'm like, I'm not even in the fucking house yet.
Oh my gosh. Like, okay, so Allie mentioned this to me, but I was like, what are you talking about? I had no idea that happened. I didn't hear it. I didn't see it.
I'm like, I'm not even in the house yet. She's like, yeah, this is the house. I'm like, okay, whatever.
Oh my God.
We literally haven't stepped foot in the premise yet. We're outside of it. We're in the line is right behind me.
I do wish, and I understand why. I really do, but I really wish we could get pictures at the beginning of the houses.
Yeah, give us something.
Just at the opening. Like, I'm thinking about the Terrifier house that we'll talk about in a minute. I'm thinking about the Halloween house, again, a couple years ago, was fantastic. There are some really good, like Insidious last year had a great fucking opening. I really just want to be able to take a picture at the fucking beginning. And from the level of like protect this surprise or protect the experience, but then also if everybody pulls out a picture and they allow that shit, that line's never fucking moving.
That's true. There has to be some kind of regulations there for sure.
Yeah.
And truth be told, I'm trying to snap pictures while I'm walking. I'm not holding the line up, so half of the shit that I took was just blurry anyway, so I had to delete it anyway. You know what I mean?
You know what I'm also really sad about? I finally got a pair of Meta Ray-Ban glasses.
Oh, yeah?
Wayfarers. Yeah, I've been thinking about it legitimately for a long fucking time, and then I decided, well, I'm just going to do this for me. I was hoping that I would have bought it before Halloween Horror Nights, and the timing just didn't work out for it. But I got it now, and I'm thinking like, fuck, man. I could have definitely gotten a picture, because there's also like the little, not that you should do this. I'm not telling myself, right? But you can get a little accessory for like blocking the LED. Not that I ever want to be fucking creepy about it, right? But like for the purpose of being in the beginning of a fucking haunted house and just wanting that memory for myself. You know what I mean? Like that would be something.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely would have been cool for sure. I think one of the most hyped original houses that I heard going into this one was the El Artista, a Spanish haunting house.
Yeah.
Everyone was saying they loved this house leading up to it.
Including our server at Toothsome.
Yeah, loved it. Like, just had to tell us all the things.
Yeah, okay. What an experience. So this is now the second year in a row that we have gone together before Halloween Horror Nights. And I really like this place. It's delicious. Great food. I really enjoy the atmosphere. Like a perfect spot to just get something to eat before you go into a park for a day. But our server was so fucking excited. She started to try to tell Allie everything about these houses. Oh my gosh. She started describing in detail what happens in the Artista house, because that was her favorite one. Later on, like Allie was wearing these jeans, like sick fucking jeans that had Jason Voorhees kind of like embroidered on it, like the mask. We had like a little bet going of how many compliments you get. She was like over like 13 compliments that night. Like random
it was high. It was like 14 or something.
Yeah, like it was definitely fucking high. But she sees Allie as we're leaving. She's like, "Oh my gosh, I love your pants. You're gonna love this house. Here's what happens at the end of the house." And Allie's like, "What the fuck?"
Stop talking. Stop telling me these things.
Okay, but you're right, John. The hype for Artista was significant. And listen, I love walking into a fucking house and hearing the language of my people. However, the problem for me was he sounded like Puss in Boots. And by that, I mean, obviously he sounded like Antonio Banderas. I couldn't get past that because the second I heard that, I was thinking about you telling us about some movie recently being inspired by Puss in Boots.
Yeah, Sinners.
Yes. Oh my God. Fucking Sinners. Yeah. And it was just in my brain. It was in my brain the rest of the fucking night after that.
It did sound like Puss in Boots for sure. It was cool atmosphere. Like I love a good like haunted, like I mean, it's a haunted house and it is a haunted house theme. You know what I mean? So it was kind of cool. You love those themes for sure. And it was pretty cool. I don't know. Would you put it up there like with your favorite of the original houses, or
honestly,
was it worth the hype, or was it just kind of like all right?
I think it was. It's tough, man. It's really tough. My problem is that I wouldn't say any of the original houses really like wowed me, but I think that's also just me. Like when I go to locals, like small mom and pop haunts, those are the original houses that I tend to find the most fun. And for me, part of the draw of Halloween Horror Nights is going to the major IPs. And that's just what it's just like a complete different experience in my brain. So
yeah, well, they put so much. They put so much into the big houses, the main houses this year, that I feel like you could even tell like some of these. I think we were talking about it. There was a couple of these like original houses that felt like they were almost the same layouts, just different animatronics. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
In some areas.
It felt recycled. It felt regurgitated in some ways. Like I am pretty sure, was it Hatchet and Change, Demon Bounty Hunters, or El Artista? There was, it might have been Galkin also. Actually, I'm looking at this list of the original houses. It could have been fucking any of them. But in the Chucky house that we went to a couple of years ago, we had a gigantic Chucky head moving in and out. And we know that none of these houses were in that specific where the Chucky house was, but it felt the same. It felt the same.
Yeah, no, 100% for sure. Definitely. There was, I think it might have been Galkin, because there was like this giant like monster that was popping in and out, like this giant monster head that was popping in and out at you.
Yeah, it might have been. But the first original house that we went to, right after just jumping right out of the gates with our boy Art, we went to Grave of Flesh. And this was one that I think I thought it was more fun than maybe it actually was, because I was just on the high of like being there and it was running off the vibes of the Terrifier house. But what I did love is walking in, it had great atmosphere. The actor who's playing like the groundskeeper for this cemetery plot, this grave, was just really responding well to his audio cues. But when you look up, you realize that you're in a grave. And I thought that was just beautiful design.
Yeah, it was cool. It wasn't really my favorite house. There was a couple moments like that I thought were really cool. I was like super excited for it because Grave of Flesh, zombies, thinking like that kind of stuff. And when the execution of it overall wasn't super, super exciting, but there were some really cool touches for sure.
Yeah, the masks in that one weren't great. And it did remind me like a bad version of the Cropsey mask from The Burning.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah. But let's just keep the disappointment train running, because what the fuck was that Five Nights at Freddy's house?
Here's the thing. And listen, I know a lot of people love Five Nights at Freddy's. I'm not going to say that I hate Five Nights at Freddy's, and I never played the games, but this wasn't really based on the games. This was based on the film. And so just like the film, I don't think it was very scary, right? I don't think it was scary at all. In fact, there were not any moments that I think were frightening. I think it looked fun. Like there's a lot of animatronics of the characters from Five Nights at Freddy's going out at you, and you're seeing a lot of that stuff, and like cool, but like Yeah,
Yeah.
not super great, which I kind of thought was going to be the case because I just wasn't a huge fan of the film. Like, I didn't think it was a bad film. It just wasn't great.
Yeah, this is a starter kit house. They know exactly what they're doing. They're getting their money's worth on perhaps families that want to go with their kids. This is a great house to take a kid to. It has a lot of the precision and the level of detail from the film, which, again, really cool to walk through, really cool to look at, but not something even remotely or spooky. You know what I mean? It's just, I will say, actually, the scene that you enter, that you walk in, and the effect of what's happening with like the lighting and the animatronics, that was really fucking cool. But it almost felt like that was the climax of the house for me. Like that was the high that it never fucking like recreated. What I do think is a wise move for them is A, doing that house, B, then converting the Italian restaurant into the pizza parlor. And then also they had incredible merch for Five Nights.
They did. They had a lot of really good merch. A lot of these places had some good merch. I feel like they had some really great stuff for all of the houses. When you really think about it, they had some sick Jason jerseys that were floating around. They had some WWE shirts, of a lot of Terrifier merch that, you know, we definitely had to purchase. I know you got a Clown Cafe t-shirt. That's pretty sick.
I fucking loved it. I got the Clown Cafe t-shirt. I got the Clown Cafe pin that has like a little foldable or exposed window, and you see Art the Clown chilling back there. Got the Terrifier bag. Got the souvenir cup. That was basically my list. I wanted so much more, and then I just kind of held back from it. I'm probably still going to try to get something again online, or I actually have a few coworkers who go multiple times throughout the season, so I might just send some cash with them at the end of the season, and then just see whatever they have left. But Allie got for sure the Jason jersey. What I was looking for that I never saw, there was a great Jason Universe shirt that's all black with a really like a red design, and you just see like his mask, like he's standing out in the woods. I was looking for that shirt the entire time. I didn't see it a single time.
I didn't see anything like that.
Yeah, they had a different shirt that was black with his mask, and it's like half of the image is his mask and the other half is him in the woods. That one was cool, but when I saw it in person, it didn't seem as nice to me. What I did also love, though, was those fucking Terrifier shot glasses.
I know. I almost pulled the trigger on the shot glasses. It was just like it was just $50 that I just was like, I don't necessarily want to spend this right now. But it was a great set of four. It was like 4 or 5 shot glasses.
Yeah. Well, listen, if I see someone who goes and those things, because usually that merch is discounted at the end of the season, I will let you know if it comes out any cheaper.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, truth be told, if I didn't spend the $20 on the cheapest fucking sunflower glasses, I probably would have been more justified in buying the shot glasses that night. However, I feel like based on all of the pictures and videos we have, the sunglasses were definitely necessary because it added a certain vibe to the experience.
Yeah, listen, the sunglasses worked for you. I have those same sunglasses from when I ordered it online when we did our Terrifier live stream. And then I have my second pair right up here from Spirit Halloween, which I actually like this because it's like a thicker leg and it feels a little bit more sturdy on the face. But it does say Terrifier in red letters. I guess I could scrape it off if I really wanted to.
I think it's good.
I need to plan what I want to take at the end of the month for Art to sign, for David Howard Thornton to sign. Oh my gosh, I didn't even tell you. I did get, so I have NECA or Bloody Disgusting is doing this great little like set at Walmart's where they feature a bunch of like horror merchandise and memorabilia. I have a little Art the Clown figure that has, I'm going to scoot just so you can see it. So this little guy is Bloodbath Art.
Oh, nice.
This
love it.
Bag actually opens up when you take it out of his hand. And then he has a bunch of accessories. His legs move. There's a lot of shit going on here. There's like a little prop gun in this bag as well. And when you get him wet, he turns into like a Bloodbath Art. So he turns red. Like there's
that's awesome.
Like blood patterns on him. So that's really cool. But There's a few more. Like, I think there's 2 more like this. And there's one of Sienna. And there's a full 7-inch Ultimate Edition art that I finally scooped up. My brother picked it up for me while he was out. So I'm going to be setting that up. I don't know how we got on this tangent, awesome. But I'm just out here buying as much Art the Clown shit as I can.
It's awesome. It's awesome. But how did you feel about the Fallout house?
Okay. I guess I should be very clear on what my relationship to Fallout is. And it's not significant. I played, I don't know which of the games I played. I enjoy it. I really enjoy this like nuclear family retro cartoon style that we see like the vaults. So I love the design of it. I started watching the show and I was into the show and I just never got around to finishing it. And I know that obviously this house is themed after the show, not the game. Similar to Five Nights, right? Being themed after the movie and not the game. So I liked it. I thought it was fine. I wasn't mad.
It was fine. It was fun. Again, I think I'm in the same boat. I played a little bit of the game way back in the day, like the original games back in the day, years and years and years ago. So I remember those themes, and then I remember watching the show, but never finishing it. I think I watched a good portion of it, but never got around to actually finishing the show. So from what I could tell, they did a pretty good job depicting the show and all of those themes. But yeah, like it was cool. It was cool.
Yeah. Oh, let me tell you what I was surprised by, though. I don't give a shit about wrestling, but you schooled me on the Wyatt family before we even bought our tickets.
Yeah.
And I do think that level of knowledge, in conjunction with that just being a good house, really sold that experience for me, and it became one of my top 3 houses.
Yeah, it was. I was really curious like how it was going to go, and let me just tell you, I thought it was really clever, and I had a really good time with it because the moment you're like going into these houses, I loved that they had staged it like you were going backstage at a WWE event, and you could see that the Wyatt family, the Wyatt Six, had like gone through and like slaughtered a bunch of actual WWE like cameramen and like people that just worked backstage because they were staging everything. You had like the TV screens, the little monitors, and people were just lying everywhere dead. It was super, super cool to kind of walk through that. I thought that was super, super clever. And they had all the characters all the way from like what you have now with the Wyatt Six, which we know is like Bray Wyatt's brother, Bo Dallas, or whatever he's going by now. That's kind of carried on his legacy in Bray Wyatt's passing. And so like you have all of that theme, but then they also threw in Bray Wyatt just enough to kind of honor his legacy, and the original Wyatt family with the other 2 were thrown in there just enough as well. And it was like a pretty cool house. I wish we were there. There was like a night where Alexa Bliss, which is another female wrestler who had like briefly been part of the Wyatt family before Bray Wyatt passed. And apparently, because they do have her in there as a character, but apparently there was a night that she showed up and actually went in the house and acted in the house. And I was like, dang, that would have been a great night to be there.
Holy shit. Yeah, that is so fucking cool. I loved towards the end of the house, like getting these like photos and videos of Bray Wyatt. Again, I know nothing really about this beyond what you clued me in on, but I think even that was enough to like really appreciate what a fun approach this was, what a clever and innovative approach it was, and then to have that emotional tie of just honoring, you know what I mean? Like, could he have ever imagined that this is what was going to happen?
Exactly. Like, very cool to see. Definitely. I think it was handled very well, which is awesome. And the majority of the people not knowing what the fuck was happening in that house, I'm sure, but probably a good amount did. So you never know. It is Florida. It's the home of WWE, like at least the performance center and stuff, not the headquarters. Well, yeah, the NXT, like the developmental part of WWE, and a lot of wrestlers live out here. So you know, there's probably a pretty strong base out here.
Well, that shows I don't know shit about shit.
But man, we got to talk about the top 2.
Okay, Sean, I was more excited about Terrifier. And I knew that the Jason house just had to not fuck it up. But oh my God, the Jason house was so fucking fun. And there were so many surprises in here for me. I would love to hear what you thought.
Yeah, it was super, super fun. I loved that we got to go through some really great scenes throughout the whole house. We even got Mrs. Voorhees coming at us at one point. Yep. Right? And like, I think, I mean, it is the legacy of Voorhees. So you kind of like have this idea that they should be doing something, and you weren't sure if they were going to actually do something, but we got a good amount of Jasons.
Yeah, we got more than I expected. Here's the thing. When this house started, and even after they announced this whole Jason Universe house, the reality is that this is now Jason Universe branding. So the lawsuit behind this property shows that there's different use cases. So one person owns the first Friday the 13th movie, and the other person owns Jason, essentially. So there's different rights that are at play. For example, the Crystal Lake series is safe territory for this, but there's also the ambiguity of how much of the backstory can you really use. So when we got into this house, you initially see the Jason Universe mask, the new mask. And I wasn't mad at that. I was like, oh, this is fun. A cabin setting. You also get to see plenty of like silhouetted windows from inside a cabin. Like it was staged beautifully. Yeah. But then when we moved on, it actually got back to the beginning, got to see Mrs. Voorhees in her little bug. And then we got to see so many fucking Jasons. It was incredible, like so well executed and so much better than I could have expected.
Yeah, Jasons were literally popping out of everywhere.
Yeah, and listen, man, the boo holes were boo holing.
They were boo holing.
Because the problem is that you have these holes that are very apparent and very obvious, so you know what's going to happen. And the timing of these houses in Halloween Horror Nights, because of the density of the houses, it's detrimental to the experience. But in a house like Jason's house, and also in the Terrifier house, you had enough actors in costume so that they were A, either going out multiple holes themselves, or B, there was a scare for everybody.
There truly, truly was. Yeah. It was definitely one of the best houses of this year for sure. But yeah, we have to talk about Terrifier because I know a lot of people were hyped. I know we were hyped going into it, and it's got to be top house, right? Yeah. Like, I mean, it looked great. It looked great. You got to see every iconic kill in that house.
It was so incredible, Sean. The level of attention to detail, the facade on the outside of the house being the Terrifier house, also the quality of the arts that were in costume were fantastic. This is honestly, at this point, he's a fucking icon. Mm-hmm. And if you play art the wrong way, you're not going to nail the experience. Like, he is not someone like Jason or Michael where you can just stand there and just be menacing, because he is a silly, goofy guy. He has a level of charisma to him that you have to be able to channel. And every single one that I saw in that house was great. Even the interaction that they gave, sometimes menacing, sometimes really fucking funny and polite.
100%. It was super, super good. And, you know, the way it looked and everything, the attention to detail, you know, I believe Damon Leone had a hand in like making sure that it looked really well. And it reminds me of way back in the day when they had I don't know if they ever did it out here, but in Hollywood one year they had the House of a Thousand Corpses house, and they had Rob Zombie actually help design it. And so like, I'm just comparing them just because of like the attention to detail, because the creators had their hand in creating the house as well. And so that is always such a great experience.
It really is. Honestly, I couldn't have asked for more from this house. And I also love that the hot dog slice that we always talk about and reference they made the classy move of making it a guy instead of a girl
Yeah.
naked in the house. So, I mean, you had like, or at least you had somebody in jeans and a varsity jacket, but completely sawed in half. And that was just absolutely incredible. In addition to that, the level of smells in that house, I know that your mileage may vary. For some people, it's very smelly. For some people, it's very not, depending on the day that you go. I will say, at least from my perspective, I don't have a strong sense of smell. I could smell that something was happening, but it wasn't so intense, or at least I don't think we got the most intense day. I had a coworker who was talking about how he went to the Terrifier house and he was like hours later in a random scare zone and he could still smell the poo smell on him.
You know what? It did have a very distinctive smell, and it wasn't like over the top like I thought people were like hyping it up to be. So maybe, yeah, it depends on the day. It did stink. It did smell pretty bad.
Like bleach.
Yeah. I think there was moments later in the night that I got whiffs of it, and I don't know if it's because it lingered with me or if it's just because we happened to be maybe around an area where that air was spewing out. I have no idea. You never know. But just like the smells, the wet path did not, I don't know, it didn't feel as wet as everyone said it was going to be.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Again, another, your mileage may vary. And I honestly think it also depends on how quickly you move through it. Because I think if, like, at that point, Sean, where we got through that wet path, there was nobody in front of me. I think I went first in this house.
People were running, I think, also.
Yeah, so I remember like getting through it pretty quickly, but I imagine that if it's dense and if it's like a little bit of a slower thing, you're just going to get more wet because you're exposed to it longer.
It's true. It felt, though, more like just stuff dripping on you, and I was kind of expecting the wet path to be like this path where like you're seeing all these staged like murders and blood is spewing out at you, but that's not. But that's not what it was. It just felt like I was walking under like some leaky sewer. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It was very much like big drops that were falling down. Now, they did have to make some adjustments because I think the first night or the first weekend they did this, that back section of the house flooded because they just did too much water. But man, that is something that I was thinking about, right? Like if we had Arthur Clown just sawing somebody and then we're just getting squirted, I would fucking love that.
Yeah. I know, that's what I'm saying.
I hope they do another Terrifier house.
You know, this should not be the last. I mean, just by the hype they got this year and how much, like, I'm sure this drove so much business for them that they have to be saying they have to do another Terrifier house at some point. Not saying it's going to be next year, but they definitely are sitting on a fucking cash grab if they ever wanted to even hype this up again, because the Terrifier fans are out there more than I thought there would be.
And I think we're growing in numbers, specifically because of how fun he is. And also, I'm sorry, I just love what Universal was doing with art. Walking around the park, you know, I wish people touched him less so that we could have had a more free experience. But from the videos of him online where he's working the customer service desk, like he's just a fucking funny guy. I absolutely love it. And there was even a clip of how he was interacting with a fan who's autistic, and he was like just mirroring each other and just like creating this little like perfect moment in this little perfect pocket of just joy and understanding and inclusion. I loved it so much. I fucking
so good.
Honestly, having a roving character like this with his energy specifically, because if you put fucking Freddy Fazbear out here, no, it's not gonna fucking happen. You even put Jason Voorhees out here, that's not gonna fucking happen. But Arthur Clown specifically, because of how he engages with a crowd, it's iconic. It
was a great choice.
Yeah, even if they don't do the Terrifier house, I hope they fucking bring him back for roaming his way around.
Yeah, definitely, 100%.
Well, listen, we had so much fun at Halloween Horror Nights, and I know Sean and I have a lot to still do together this spooky season. But for now, there you have it, folks. We enjoyed Halloween Horror Night, so you didn't have to spend the money. But if you want to check it out, there's always next year. Now, we are going to have so many more bonus episodes for you this month. We're going to be discussing Halloween movie nights. We're going to be talking about franchise marathons and even some horror hot takes.
And if you enjoyed listening to this bonus episode of us talking through Halloween Horror Nights and you want to explore even more of our show, definitely consider supporting the show. Visit patreon.com/hackerslash. This is where you can not only support us, but enjoy even more of the show, including bonus content like this, early access with some of these episodes, extended episodes with our B-sides, which are free sides for the spooky season. You can even take part in movie nominations and live shows.
We'll see you next time, folks. And remember, the food's a little funny at the Clown Cafe.
And he's got the whole world in his hands.